I studied Dr. Martin Luther King very intently in college, and he, great man, great mission, great words. The biggest thing about Dr. Martin Luther King is he was actually genuine when he spoke those words, and that's why I respect the King that much. Um, you know, Working together requires a level of maturity that and respect. And unfortunately, what a lot of citizens in the county don't know is, I'm going to go ahead and share it now, is I've had to, for 6 years, endure the accusations of special interest or my wife being at a deputy sheriff at the sheriff's office, um, ethics complaints, ethics complaints spurred by other elected officials, had to get legal counsel for that, all up into meetings with the Fraternal Order of Police and ESMIC, where an elected official said, there's got to be some sort of violation there with his wife working at the sheriff's office. And then another meeting with ESMIC. Commissioner O'Connor has a special interest there with his wife working at the sheriff's office. So I've endured that. I've endured my parents being the victims of harassment because of the noise ordinance that was brought forth by an elected official on this board. That person happens to support this elected official. My parents, unfortunately, have had the sheriff's department called on them well over 30 times because they were shooting on their property safely. And guess what? 15 of them were false complaints. It wasn't even them. The person that called has openly stated they supported that elected official and the noise ordinance. So by me voting no, this is their response. They've endured complaints to land use and growth management. So while I don't normally sit up here and discuss these things, when you want to know the tenor of what you're dealing with, that is what you have to deal with sometimes as an elected official. Then you have to deal with the hypocrisy that goes with it when you're dealing with an entirely different system and we push funding into LoSAP. So we leave that there. And the reason no ethics complaint was made is because there is no ethics violation on that. COVID-19 and pay raises, if you want to use COVID-19 as we can't do, we don't know what's going to be coming, then what you need to look at the budget is why would you do pay raises? Why would you dole out money so haphazardly for pay raises if you don't know what's going to happen with the recurring funds? And fund balance comes from unallocated non-spent funds and underestimating revenue. So fund balance is operating revenue. With the turf fields, we have staff. I expect staff to communicate. These emails came from the schools. All the commissioners were in the email about the MOU between that. It just so happens I'm the Park and Recs guy. I like Parks and Recs, so I furthered the conversation. And this has been in talks for a while. Baseball fields have nothing to do with the multi-use turf fields. The baseball turf fields are totally different. And the 90-foot diamonds are something totally different as well. So the press release that went out, slightly disingenuous. And I don't blame staff for that because I know there's an approval process with press releases. Anytime you give more money, it's historic. So if you give $5 last year and you give $1 this year, it's historic. But for everybody watching, in 17, we gave 62% of our budget to the Board of Education, 18, 52%, 19, 61, 20, 59%, 21, 55%, and in FY22, 39%. So that's not historic. All it is the total amount of money was higher than it was last year. The positions for the Sheriff's Department were already built into the CIP, so they were required to operate the facility. There was no choice in that matter. Unfortunately, the Board of Education still needs to come back. They have $300,000 to find in operating recurring revenue, which still means that if you need to find that money to meet the negotiated agreement, there will be cuts elsewhere in the budget. What those cuts will be, we don't know. I do know that the easiest one to do is positions, is FTEs, so that, and STEM programs. So we'll see tomorrow what happens with that. And lastly, but Commissioner Colvin did state it, there's nobody up here that's benefiting from turf fields. We don't even deal with the vendor directly. It went out to bid. It's there. The schools will do the same thing, go out to bid. I don't even know the contractor's name, quite frankly. I think our department head knows the name. They deal with them. So I think that was probably a genuine, no, it was a genuine give to the schools to try and meet a need. Unfortunately, probably ill-timed, but it can be worked out. So I thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you this evening for our public forum.